All right, tomorrow's July 4th, and allegedly it might be another holiday. CDK Global might actually have car dealerships up. Let's hope for that. It has been a wild few weeks, the last 2 weeks specifically for CDK. If you don't know what I'm talking about, 50% of the auto dealers couldn't service, finance, or sell cars without going back to paper. So, good times. And I've been harping on this for a while, in that the consolidation inside of industries is actually bad for everybody, especially in software, because it creates these choke points that create issues in the supply chain when bad things happen, such as CDK Global having not one ransomware attack, but two. So they've now had to try to come up the third time. And Wall Street Journal finally puts out an article that says, CDK Global hack shows the risk of one software vendor dominating an industry. No shit. I've been saying that for months. It is a very big problem that it's not just in the car industry. So if we kind of go through the article, and I'm not going to show it because you're supposed to have a subscription and all, but if you look at the auto dealership, CDK owns 50% of the auto dealer software, the dealer management systems, if you will. Reynolds is next with 20%. So that's 70%. The other 30 is literally just other. So as we go down this and we start looking at things like, let's look at U.S. banking core technology. 42% is owned by Fiserv. Jack Henry owns 21%, and FIS has 9%. And then the other 28% is literally other. Let's talk healthcare. If you've followed me at all, or if you've looked, Change Healthcare was a big problem. They own 44% market share for all funds processed in our healthcare system. But let's just go to EMR, or electronic medical records. Epic Systems owns 37.7% of that market. Cerner owns 21.7%. Meditech owns 13.2%, and then 27.4%. So you really have three choices in medical as well. And then you get into the fringe stuff. Let's go airlines. This one's even better. Amadeus owns 43%, Sabre owns 37%, and Travelport owns 20%. Three choices. Cool. What's this all mean? It means that these are choke points that, like, APTs, or advanced persistent threat actors, can target. Because they can look at these industries, and they can look at other industries as well. Notice where there's consolidation that people have to use the software. And a good example would be, let's say you're a small business and you use QuickBooks Online, right? What if Intuit were to get hacked? What if all that data was stolen? What would that do for your business? So as we look at our businesses and we reflect on this, it's time for us to have a deep conversation on whether it's good or bad that we only have one software provider for our line of business software. So we've seen the incident with CDK Global, what it's done to auto, and it might cost them $1 billion. These dealers might have a $1 billion economic impact because of this being down. It's going to have been down for 15 days if it comes back up tomorrow. It just highlights the risks that are associated with relying on this single software vendor. So think about that in your business. We don't know how they got hacked yet. We know it was ransomware. It could have been phishing. It could have been a number of things. We don't know. Customer data, though, this could be compromised. They had everything. Look, when you go to buy a car, you know what you give up. You give up your name, your social security number, your address. You fill out all that, and they're going to have all that. This is going to lead to a lot of regulatory scrutiny as well, because some of these deals were public. There's already lawsuits that have been filed, including the private equity firm that owns CDK Global. So what can we do? We have to look at diversifying the software providers and implementing more rigorous security protocols to mitigate these risks of similar incidents in the future. Now, maybe you're small and you can't really do that. So let's take this one step further. If you can't choose another software vendor, at least document processes that you can use if that vendor's unavailable. Make sure you're taking backups, making sure that you can get that data. Some software vendors don't let you back up your data. That's not a good process. Figure out how you can get that data out and then how it could possibly be restored in the future. And if it's something like Intuit and QuickBooks Online, even backups, you could only restore back into QuickBooks. Maybe it's time to start printing off PDFs, the balance sheets, cash flow statements, things like that. Keeping records that are physical, or digital, but just stored in a different location. So hope this is helpful. Have a safe 4th of July weekend and stay cyber safe.